And there we are.
And we are live! Hello and welcome to our 15th episode of Isle of the Damned, our Vampire the Dark Ages Chronicle. Um, yeah, I'm Mark, aka the CatsMeow, and these are my lovely, lovely players. And we are going to go through introductions and character introductions. This week, we are going to start off with, um, let's start off with Mars. Give us your introduction while I do some
Ooh.
updating.
Hello, I am Mars, and I will be playing Maud, the Valkyrie Aramanes. Sorry, the Valkyrie Aramanes.
Valkyrie, Valkyrie.
Exactly.
Valkyrie. All right. Next up, Thomas.
Hello, my name is Thomas, and I'll be playing Randolph, the gangrel sheriff of Peel, on the path of the hunter.
Nice. Next up are Zimitsi.
There's so many. So, hello everybody. I'm Blue. You're Zamitzi. Gwyneth, Prince of Peel, and Path of Community. Are we making that announcement this time? Sure. Your
It's up to
stepdad.
you.
Just doing
It's up
stuff.
to you. Next up, we are actually gonna go to Rebecca.
Hello there. I'm Rebecca, and I play Keeper's sister Iris, of the Catholic Church and the Road of God. And hopefully everyone enjoyed their first Elysium. So hoping for it.
Very nice. And last but certainly not least, Drew, why don't you give us your new introduction?
Hi, I'm Drew, and this is my new introduction. I was playing Sir Oliver, but he had a really good time at Elysium. He's kind of missing, so I'll be playing Snorri. You will find out more about him later, I assume.
Absolutely. Let's do.
Road of Honk, me, me, me.
There we go.
It's not me.
Road of Nenya business.
Road of Nanya.
Road of Nunya.
All right then. There we go. Stream is all updated. And with that, I think we can jump back in with a recap. Who would like to lead this week's recap?
Okay. Watch me stumble through my notes. So in the preamble, Father Michael was doing midnight mass, I guess, or Christmas Day mass.
Oh, it's Christmas Day Mass.
Christmas Day mass, and the kind all left feeling happy and hopeful. But as the sun set on Peel, dark forces were stirring. We began with Sister Iris going to Maud to check in with her difficulty over the Percy issue, noticing that Maud kind of had some feelings about making Childer, and they had a conversation which was comforting. And Maud admitted that the time she attempted to bring someone over, it was a distant relative who reminded her of her sister and was pretty traumatic when it did not work out. Maud stayed to help Sister Iris prepare the feast for Elysium. And Iris sensed that the shadows were kind of darker. She sensed a figure in the shadows, whether that was psychically or actually. We haven't found out yet. Gwyneth stopped by Sir Oliver's to see how he and Percy were doing. Everything was fine, but Oliver said Percy wasn't ready for Elysium yet, so he was going to leave him at home. Then Gwyneth spoke with Randolph to check in after the loss of humanity the episode before. Randolph basically said, it's always hard building communities with K-Knights, and he just needs to stick with his path, basically. Then, um, let's see. He was also hanging out with our new friend Ragnar in the woods, and I guess Ragnar was telling him stories of the old days, which is awesome. Ragnar's still outside the city, though, I think, at this point. The council came together, and Randolph told everybody about our new friend, and who his former master was. Let's see. We reminded that Judas is big on the list of things to do as his deadline is quickly approaching. Sir Oliver asked what the rules of Elysium were. And then Iris asked Sir Oliver to collect weapons at the door of Elysium.
Weapons and armor.
Yes. And let's see. I write down too much, honestly. Randolph got to Elysium super early to help with whatever needed doing. So did Maud. Honestly, everyone was there early except Gwyneth. And that's as it is. Everybody was dressed up, described their cool outfits to us. Gwyneth wasn't there, but Morgan was there, one of his childer, and Sister Marana was there, looking how she always looks, I believe. Captain Blackwood showed up early with a bad attitude, but what else is new for him? He asked where Gwyneth was, and was disgusted at being in church. Then Eloise, the harpy from Douglas, showed up. She went on the list as wanting to speak with Gwyneth when he showed up. There was a new person, Mackenzie, came, and she was a woman with dark brown hair and green eyes, kind of dressed a little sporty. Also asked to speak with the prince when he showed up. Oliver and Eloise greeted each other, and some things were kindling. Judas showed up, and Oliver immediately got in his face and said he was basically breaking rules of Elysium. Things got a little tense for a bit. Judas basically told him to fuck off. Maud backed up Oliver, and Judas was threatening to Maud as well. Iris kind of smoothed things over. Then Eamon, right? That's his name. Showed up. Our rebel Bruja, who is wanted in 50 states, came for the party. And then there was, I'm sorry, what's the name of the La Sombra priest again? He was also there.
That was Father Isaac.
Okay, Father Isaac was there. He came because he heard Father Collins isn't around anymore. He wanted to pay respects to Gwyneth and ask a question on behalf of someone we'll find out about later.
Lady Blackwish.
Yes, Lady Blackwish. Oswald showed up. Judas noticed it and felt some kind of way. Gwyneth finally showed up with his other childer dressed up for rap battles, which unfortunately we didn't get to. At that point, Sister Iris declared Elysium open. And yeah, it was interesting. There were some interesting interactions. Judas was threatening Oswald a little bit, but it was actually Eamon who grabbed him and got on fire. And so that is definitely an issue we'll have to tackle later with Oswald for having a warding spell on himself. Eamon left at that point, fortunately. Sister Marana also went to smooth things over with Judas. She was also hobnobbing with Father Isaac. And then Iris at one point asked Randolph to just take a look around for who was going to be the biggest threat. Oliver brought Eloise in to talk to Gwyneth. Gosh, lots of things happened.
There was a good amount of conversation.
Yeah, many
Lots of
conversations and political
conversation, many
intrigue was had.
conversations.
Exactly.
Like in Elysium.
Yeah, as is with
Indeed,
tradition.
indeed. Lots of conversations, official conversations with the prince, people threatening each other, and Oliver and Eloise having a great time. I forget at what time they actually left
Like
together,
round
but they
2, I
did.
believe.
Yes. Let's see. Captain Blackwood was bored. Mackenzie was chatting up some lovely ladies, including Maud. Doing well. I forget who was it who asked her what she was looking for, and she's like, "I mean, a hot chick will do." It might have actually been Gwyneth.
I think it was
who asked
Gwyneth.
her that.
I think it was.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, there's plenty out there," and so she went and found
I
Maud,
think
which
there
was
was a
great.
very funny moment where it was like, "Oh yeah, you should go have a conversation with our keeper." And it's like, "Yeah, I think I will." And I was like, "Oh no."
Yep, yep.
Then you didn't.
And then she
I
didn't.
think Randolph said something to Mackenzie at one point about the Prince of Edinburgh, and she was like, "Who? Who are you again?" Which, unfortunately, or
Don't
Randolph.
worry about it. I've got one of those faces.
Mackenzie is a Toreador, so you know she's got that riz. Randolph was saying he ran into Duncan recently. Someone asked Eamon, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "Well, I figure I'm fine because it's Elysium."
Legally can't do anything to me, so it's fine.
And I wrote
Yeah.
down, he's a pious individual, but he loves his fires, which I'm sure is something he actually said,
Well,
but
he
got into
yeah.
my notes in
Was
a
it
really
about him,
interesting
maybe?
way.
It was something about it was something about a pyre. It was like, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
pious individual. I sure love my pyres.
Yes, that's
Mhm.
right.
Yep. God.
Maybe. Yeah, Judas was
Foreshadowing.
speaking
So
with
much. I
Sister
love it.
Marana. I know Marana did come up at some point and
Yeah,
ask Oliver what
Morana.
he was doing, antagonizing Judas.
It was specifically talking to Randolph,
Oswald.
assuming Randolph was involved in it, but Randolph was not.
Yeah.
Poor Randolph. Poor Randolph.
Rest in peace, Randolph.
Maud was eavesdropping on the Oswald and Eamon fight before Eamon was on fire. Oh, and Mackenzie wants to paint everyone's portraits. That's her deal. So, you know what?
Sorry.
She offered it to Gwyneth, but she offered it to Maud in a different way. So we'll see. There's going to be some painting appointments. Before Eloise and Oliver left, he was somehow convinced that she really was his wife in disguise. Something seemed to happen there. There was kissing, yeah. And then there was a voice at the back of his head, which none of us know, but Oliver knows because he was there. And it was not Eloise's voice.
And they
Father
never
Iris.
officially left, by the way.
Did they not? I thought.
Nope.
Oh Lord, Lord have mercy. Okay. Father Isaac went to ask Gwyneth if she would allow a representative, right?
I think
Lady
that-
Blackwish?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
representative to reside within the city. Which Iris was not too happy about for some reason. I wonder why.
I just at one point, all I have is Sir Oliver and Eloise have disappeared and not returned.
Yeah,
Maybe they're
Yeah,
that
it
maybe
doesn't
they're in the
surprise me.
confessionals. Maybe we should check them. If
Wouldn't
they
be the
haven't
first
left,
time.
hey, they're hiding somewhere. Right?
I think we should ignore them.
I think there was talk with Oswald about whether his spell was a weapon or not, and we found out what it actually was.
Mm-hmm.
It was a
The fire
ward.
was blue.
Mhm.
Yes. Oh, yeah, Lady Blackwish wanted to know if Gwyneth was worthy of her association and to rule, which was interesting. So yeah. And someone named Ingrid Freya daughter came in and told us her master Snorri Freyerson was coming out of torpor, and we said sure, have him come around and say hi when he wakes up.
He also gave you a prophecy.
Yes. Which I think I have.
It is in the Roll20 chat.
Yeah, it is.
Roll up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I pasted it yet.
Yeah.
It'd still
Something
be in
about
there.
the wolf's howl is what I wrote down.
The wolf
From the east shall rise the
And,
banner tide, a serpent coiled in the folds of its sails. Ash and iron shall scorch the green land, the unbroken chain shall shatter under the weight of foreign crowns. Fangs of the old gods will gnash in the night, yet the wolf's howl may turn the tide. Blood spilled in the shadow of the mountain decides the fate of the isle.
And in Norse, it rhymes.
Yeah.
In Norse it rhymes.
yes. And that's what I have.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. I think the only like two important details that got left out were Gwyneth asked or told Maud that um she had his permission to use disciplines in Elysium, and then we found out that um Iris is not in fact technically part of the Court of Shadows. She's not
Oh
necessarily
yeah, I did ask
associated
that.
with
Yeah.
the main Lasombras.
Indeed. I'm trying to remember what it's called. I think it's Court of Blood.
It is the Court of Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well,
Though it's not known by the rest of the players, it'd probably be vaguely
right.
known to Iris that Lady Blackwish is a representative of the Court of Blood. She's a
Mhm.
high-ranking member.
And what country / island is she on?
You
Did
don't
we ever
know.
find that out?
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Across the water.
That's most everything. But yes.
Yes,
And
it is, isn't
Gwyneth
it?
failed his willpower check and had nightmares.
Yep. Fun,
Mhm.
fun, fun.
Of nightmares.
Yep.
Alright then. I think with that, we can begin. We start with tonight's preamble. We see a figure stalking through the woods. Pale, lithe, fast. Moving without breath. We then cut to the inside of a small home, where we see a pot upon a fire, a stew being brought to boil, as an older looking man stands at it, mixing it with what looks to be a large wooden spoon. We see as the figure running through the night arrives at the edge of a farm. stepping over large fences as they stalk towards what looks to be a cow in the pasture. We see the older looking man as he smiles above his dinner before he hears a sound outside on his farm. He rushes out as he grabs his pitchfork, looking out to see what looks to be a figure at the side of his cow. He yells out, slamming the end of his large pitchfork against the ground as the pale live figure looks up and quickly darts off into the darkness. As he makes his way over, he sees the cow slumped upon the ground, the life drained from it, from what looks to be large, sharp incisions into its neck. With that, we begin our session. Where we last left off, it was the end of your first official Elysium. At this point, you have about an hour before the sun rises. At this point, everyone has gone home, or returned to their havens, or seemingly left, making their own way out of the city.
Can Gwyneth gather everybody together to sort of do a recap of the evening since he was off in private conferences?
Sure thing. Alright, you all meet together.
I'm figuring still in the church, right? In Elysium.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
maybe.
everyone's gone.
Maybe we'll all help
Most people.
Iris clean up, put the pews back where they belong or whatnot.
These were always where they were. I think they're like, yeah.
Well, firstly, I would like to congratulate Sister Iris on her first Elysium as keeper. I believe tonight was a success, but I thought to get reports from all of you on how you thought it went.
Feel it could have gone better in some respect. It was a bit shorter than I anticipated.
Oh,
Um,
are they usually longer?
Well, they usually start earlier.
Something to think of for the future. And, where's Sir Oliver? Yeah.
It's possible he left already.
I
mean,
did
most
see him
everyone's.
with that
Oh.
Toreador.
mm,
Which
one?
The one from Douglas.
Ah, the other keeper?
Yeah, her.
Ah.
You think they left together?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Really? Seems I missed quite a bit.
I unfortunately saw him talking
Oh,
when we were leaving Douglas last time.
Yes, he did show some interest in her when we were in Douglas, I believe. Never found out why. Did any
I
of
don't
you?
like. I don't like it. Toreador are masters at using sex as weapons.
well, some people go for that sort of thing.
Can't
For
say
me,
why.
it does seem out of character for Oliver to leave without telling any of us. He does stand on ceremony and duty. He said nothing to any of you.
No.
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 Possible he's been under a lot of stress and stuff, but if you'd like, I can go
Oh.
and wrangle him all up. I imagine he hasn't gotten far.
Or, as we wrap up our discussion, perhaps Rose could have a look. He's gone home. Of course, I'll leave that to your discretion, Sheriff.
We'll both take a look. Might as well.
Yes. I'll keep an eye out here in case he has stuck around.
Well, the three of us can continue discussing how
3.
we
Four
felt
of us?
Elysium.
Maud is still here.
No, I was gonna.
Randolph's leaving.
Yeah.
If
Ah,
Randolph's leaving, that's three of us, yeah.
all right.
Right.
I suppose
Um,
we both misunderstood.
Yes, Sister Iris, if there's something we can do to assist in the next Elysium to perhaps begin early, please let us know what resources or help you need. We don't want to be
Just-
the one city that has short Elysiums, I don't think.
I think
That's
it
a
helps with people
rumor.
on time.
Well, it was a holiday. I did want to bring some fun if I could. But
Did you
it seems there
not
was...
trust me to have things planned for traditional?
No, I wanted to bring something special, something culturally important to me.
I understand that.
Mhm.
I
But,
thought it was interesting.
something new, I suppose. Maud, what did you feel about how things went this evening?
I thought they went well, aside from where I misstepped myself, but that was no fault of how the Elysium was run. I just think that that was an issue with Judas. I think I should
What happened
have.
with Judas? Sorry, I think I missed that.
I think he did. Quite possibly. Oliver had a bit of a disagreement with him. Judas was quite aggressive without
I
being
imagine.
actually aggressive. His usual demeanor, I've inferred, but I then backed up Oliver. Probably. Well, I wouldn't say that I shouldn't have. I feel that I felt that Judas was well in the wrong, but I do think it perhaps wasn't the time for me to do that. So I'm sorry
Well,
about
I
that.
think I'm not sure there's anything to apologize for if you were backing up Oliver. Unless, what do you think, Sister Iris? Was so Oliver too much with Judas?
It got a bit accusatory, and certain things were not exactly ironed out in terms of what would be considered a breach of decorum. In future, going forward, we shall have to determine whether certain temporary aspects that can be undone count as a breach of etiquette. If one alters appearance beforehand and does not deign to switch back, does that count as using the discipline within the walls of Elysium? It is something to consider that I had not.
Sounds like the two of us perhaps should sit down and iron out those rules, too. help with such friction in the
course,
future, but
I
I
will
wouldn't
come
say
up with some
Maud did
things
anything
and
wrong.
Nor would I, but I will say that accusing someone, I feel, is, well, perhaps my role, something that should have been brought to me rather
Oliver was
than.
really that aggressive with Judas. It seems so out of character for him.
Well, it seems that is the way of things tonight, perhaps. Maybe
Perhaps
he's
we-
having an off night and he needs some space.
That's a fair point.
Definitely
But
worth checking in to see how he's doing if he's been acting out of character, I think.
if
We're
we
all
can-
under a tremendous amount of stress, I think, with this first Elysium, which is why I wanted to congratulate everyone on a successful Elysium. You know, you all worked hard.
We
But
did.
I think it's worth checking in. Was
Well,
there
keep his
anything
eye out,
else?
but if he doesn't want to be found, then he doesn't want to be found. But we'll keep an eye.
Is there anything else I missed in Elysium which I should know of?
Just. No, nothing important, really. Everyone's arrival.
Well, I can't think of anything.
Alright, so perhaps a few things to work on for next time, but all in all, a successful evening, I think.
Yes. I'll
Sister
draw up
Iris, if-
some rules and submit them to you for confirmation.
Or we could meet together and work out a list. It's the two of us, perhaps. Whatever your
Some sort of-
preference is.
Whatever you, my prince.
Yes, I think working on it together sounds like would be better to me. Again, congratulations to both of you for a job well done. And is there anything else you need from us, Sister Iris, to clean up this evening before we retire?
All of the blood stains have been cleaned from the cobblestones. And the confessionals have been thoroughly wiped down. I believe all is well for the night. Unless there's anything else that needs to be discussed
Well,
or mentioned.
perhaps we'll just wait for news from Randolph before we retire, unless Maud
Well,
needs to begin in the direction of your haven.
you are
earlier.
both always, of course, welcome to stay. It is
I think
not much.
with the amount of time I have left, I think it might be better to stay here. As I think an hour was mentioned, and I don't know if I can get
Yeah.
that time. Yeah.
Right. I'll wait as long as I can. Hopefully Randolph will be back soon with Sir Oliver, news of Oliver.
This is quite soon until sunrise. I hope that it, at the very least, does not take him too long. Who knows how much ground he'll be able to cover and if he'll even be able to make it back in time. I suggest we rest, and if there is news, it shall arrive on sunset tomorrow, perhaps.
I have faith in Randolph. I'll wait a bit more.
As do I. He cannot stop time.
You doubt me?
Of course.
Right then.
I'll probably go rest for the night.
Can make up a room for both of you.
I would appreciate that.
That's very kind. I do have requirements for resting, which may not, I imagine, are not in place here. So
Did you bring them with you?
I don't tend to, no.
Well then.
I appreciate the offer.
Then Maud, shall we?
All right.
Right then, with that, you make your preparations for the end of the night. As we cut back to Randolph, as he is stalking the city. How are you attempting to track down, and who are you attempting to track down?
I imagine they went together. And if they didn't, that's one thing, but I am attempting to track down Sir Oliver, just making sure that he's fine. He imagines there are two places he would go. One is the castle, where there are many rooms and official meetings can happen. Two is his district, where the Normans generally live.
Which one do you check out?
He will ask varying animals and beasties who are out at the night to see if they have seen tale of two finely garbed individuals who felt like him.
Alright then, in that case, we are looking for a Charisma Animal Ken.
Hell yeah. Do rats count as wild animals?
Yeah, I think they would. They're not domesticated.
Right, let's see how this goes. That is 2 successes.
Alright. 2 successes as you find yourself some rats and call out to them to try and use their network to figure out where Sir Oliver could have gone. It's actually one of the rats that comes up to you and informs you that they noticed the people that you described getting into a carriage and leaving the city.
Indeed. You've done very well, my little friend. A carriage, they can travel by day. So can I in my fashion. Road. And he will turn to his crow. As the crow flies, follow them. See if you can find the carriage that they drive in. It will be fine in nature. It will likely have guards. Trail it back where you can and see if it goes to Douglas or no. And once you have an idea, head back if you can. Do not engage.
Get a confirmation from Rose as there is a flutter as she lifts off and flies off into the night sky.
Toreador, it is as I said. Their weapons are perverse, but works on some. We'll get him back. He says to the rat.
The rats
he
have no idea
turns
what
on
you're
his-
fucking talking about. They leave.
You don't have to. He turns on his heel and he will stalk towards the castle. And if there is time, he will inform the prince. If there is not, he will find himself either a room or a patch of dirt.
Yeah. I'm going to say you
Probably
don't
a patch of
quite
dirt.
have enough time. As the sun,
Indeed.
you can feel it in your blood, the sun is close to rising. So I think specifically, I think you may need to, like, either go to, like, where, like, I want to say beach, but that's not really what it is. It's like a bunch of rocks, and find, like, a bit near the water to...
Shore.
Yeah, the shore, to be able to sink yourself into it.
Randolph's no stranger to the water. He sinks into the depths covering himself in silt, and then as the earth swallows him up.
Very nice. At which point, the day arrives. The sun high in the sky. Time passes.
Do I need to roll for nightmares?
You do have to roll for nightmares.
All right.
Blood to awaken.
Am I rolling current willpower -1? That
No, you don't. You
no.
don't modify that. And
It'd just
I
be
think
current
it's
willpower.
permanent.
It might be actually your
Right?
permanent willpower. I
it
think.
would
Yeah.
it is permanent. Yeah.
Yeah, permanent
There
difficulty.
is no negative. Yeah. 3 successes.
Oh, praise the Lord. Okay.
So yeah, your
Perfect.
eternal rest is dreamless and quiet as you awaken the next night.
Okay.
Maud, roll me a
Mhm.
d10.
All right.
Tell me high or low.
All right. Okay. Now let's decide. High. Middle of the road.
But on the
Little
low
on the
end.
low
On the
side.
lower, it is on the lower side. Yes.
Okay, good to know. And you're staying at the church, right?
Yes.
Okay. Where would you normally stay, out of curiosity?
We think Maud tends to bounce around a little bit, but her haven is at her farm.
All right, but when you're in the city, would you stay in the castle, or would you
I think
have a separate place?
usually, I think it's usually either the place where the council is or the church.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
All right then. With that, the next night arrives, and you all come together to discuss what you plan to do moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So bad news.
Oh,
Bad
also,
news?
Would you?
specifically, your Rose would have returned to you before you arrived, Randolph, and she would have informed you that it indeed went to Douglas.
Two people matching the description of Keeper Eloise and Seneschal Oliver entered a carriage which left the city and headed towards Douglas.
How can
In-
that be? Oliver would not leave the city.
It's entirely certain Oliver was not doing it on his own accord.
You think, by some power of the Keeper of Douglas, why would they take Oliver?
Oliver is a very honorable, solid man. I don't think he'd make a trip like that without letting us know, and certainly not, what's the word, on impulse. He is not a very impulsive person. We shall see what will come of this, but I do recommend making a diplomatic overture to check. If they have no knowledge of what has occurred, then something more sinister is at work. Otherwise, diplomatic incident.
Well,
Do we really think that the Keeper would act without permission of her prince? Knowing Atticus and how he is.
Well, I think it's also possible it could have been done with his permission.
people,
To leave Percy behind in his vulnerable state. Don't think Oliver would do that.
I don't think he
There
would
is-
either.
Shall we check on Percy? Oh, and if he's dead, it means the bond is broken and Percy would know about that. But I don't hear any anguished screaming.
think.
Horrible.
Well, I will first listen to each of your thoughts on the matter, and then someone should certainly check on Percy, and I would like some time to meditate on what has happened before I choose what we do next.
At this point, there is a
Yeah.
knock at the door.
Iris will get up to get it.
As you open the door, you see a figure you don't recognize. Drew, would you like to describe Snorri for us?
Hey.
E.
Oh.
Baby girl.
Oh. Like my cats get attention.
Yeah, it looks like the cat, obviously.
Oh,
Oh.
No, definitely an older male figure, long gray hair, almost white beard, wearing very simple linen-like robes. His skin is very, very pale, his eyes deep sunk. The smell of death wafts from him as the door opens and enters the room. The skeleton of his form is thin, though there is a bit of muscle tone. It's almost as if seeing a zombie enter, though not. His eyes look around, tired. Little bits of dirt still upon his form as he looks at each of you with a questioning look and a cocked eyebrow. Where is Father Collins?
Would that I knew. He is off in torpor at this point.
There's a deep nod given, his eyes closing for a minute. I see.
And who might you
Pardon
be?
my...
And
Oh, yes, come in.
Thank you.
Yes. What was your name?
I'm known as Snorri Freyerson. I have been in
I
confidence
see.
with Father Collins for many, many years.
I've heard of you. I'm Sister Iris.
As he
Yes.
hears that name, there's...
Go ahead.
Good.
Your servant came to us yestereve to warn us you might be arriving soon. I am Gwyneth, Prince of Peel, in Father Collins' absence.
As he hears Sister Iris's name, there's a look of recognition in his eyes, as if the name rings a bell of some sort. But then as Gwyneth speaks of being the Prince of Peel in Father Collins' stead, another long cocked eyebrow arches over his eye, and then he nods to you. This is the case. I have brought the traditional gift, something that Father Collins and I have done for our time. I hand you a wooden box, probably 8 inches long, 2 inches to 2.5 inches tall, hinged with leather.
I thank you. May I also introduce Randolph, our sheriff, and Maud, the Valkyrie of Peel.
Pleasure.
Do you have more news to share with us? I know you sent your servant with a portent for us.
I'm still sorting out the things that I saw and placing the pieces together. When I know more, I will certainly let you know more. I guess I should make you aware that on top of being a consult to Good Father, I'm also your crypt keeper. I deal with all of the dead of Peel and the surrounding areas.
I see. And you recently came out of torpor. Who was dealing with the dead while you were resting, if I might ask?
Ingrid, of course.
I see.
Well, welcome back, Snorri.
And as he looks over towards Maud and hears the word Valkyrie, there's another hint of recognition, and a small smile goes against his thin lips. Valkyrie, you say? It's not a title used much in these lands. It's a pleasure to see one of such stock. It's been some time since there were Valkyries in Peel. Nevertheless, thank you for making me feel welcome. New Prince, Sister Iris, Randolph, and Maud Valkyrie. Should you have need of me, I'm at your service.
I may have need of you now, if only to answer a few questions, if you're willing.
I will answer them if I can.
You deal with the dead of Peel, perhaps, but nevertheless. How far back do the crypts go, history-wise? 2 centuries? 3?
How long has he maintained a burrow, Mark?
About a century and a half. Crypts
Roughly
themselves
a
might go back a
century.
little bit. Yeah, the crypts themselves might go a little bit longer, but that was when you came and took control of them.
Right. I've maintained the crypts and the burrows for over a century, though they were there before me.
Thank you. A weird question to be asked out of the blue, perhaps.
No, I think we all know why you're asking.
Indeed.
Hmm.
But Randolph says, you're familiar with the city, so you likely have your lodgings in or around your tenements in the crypt, no?
Yes, I have my own haven, and with Father Collins, the actual burrow area was considered part of my domain, at his discretion, of course.
Very well, I think we can leave it at that for now. Is anything else you need of us, or any more news? Anything else you discover of your portent, please let us know.
course. He turns, taking just a moment to look over at Maud with a respectful nod, and then look over at Iris with almost a hint of a smile. Please forgive me
Iris
for
will.
intruding your meeting.
Not at all.
Good.
And Iris was just gonna return the incline of her head.
Maud will nod as well.
There's a bit of cracking in the bones as he slowly moves out the door, shutting it behind him. And it can be heard as he's walking down the hallway, bare feet on the floor, slapping, cracking of bones and joints.
Well,
He seems
He
nice.
seems. I was just about to say precisely the same thing.
Great
Though.
minds.
Well, thank you. The appearance of more Cainites is fortuitous. We need numbers even as we have to carefully manage the Kain. That being said, we are down one of our number, and to redress that will take some effort. We have a looming threat on our doorstep. That said,
yes.
Hmm.
the mystery
If we
which
are to
we...
go...
Yes, you go.
Yes. I think if we are about to be at war with Douglas, I would like to know sooner rather than later.
War?
Yes.
Oh,
Right.
if Prince Atticus has
Yes.
taken something from me, there will be consequences.
Indeed. That said,
Right. Well,
uh,
seems a bit.
as the prince said, if it is required, probably won't be. And if it is, we'll be ready.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
We can't face the combined force of the baronies of Avalon, but if we're clever, we won't have to.
I would hope we don't. We've managed to be civil for a long time.
Well,
If we have...
we need to find out what's happened precisely.
Of course.
Depending
I'm
on
not
that.
against that.
And if we have to give in to the beast, it's on them, not us.
It's on us all to temper our own.
And if they failed in their job, we'll do it for them. But
This is an attack on
mystery-
us. We
if
will
it is an
answer
attack,
it.
We don't know what has happened yet. So I think it's a good idea to figure that out first.
I agree.
Precisely.
I'll be asking around and checking in with Sister Morana. But there is another mystery that we face, which is, well, the identity of the thing which lurks within the darkness, that which the prophecies indicate will rise and destroy us. And I believe the answers will be found amongst the long dead. If there was a battle long ago where king and beast fought, there is a battlefield. If there is a battlefield, there are bones. There'll be rusted blades, armor tarnished by time, but tracks.
Well, all right then.
As I said, if any of you have any more to add on the Oliver situation, I'm willing to entertain it, but if not, I will be going to meditate, and after that, I shall likely pay a visit to Judas, as it is his time to be leaving us, unless he's changed his mind.
I will be with you during that interaction.
Nothing to add.
Likely will be necessary.
Regarding Sir Oliver, do you wish to make an official inquiry by sending a letter asking about the whereabouts of our seneschal, or would you prefer our investigation first to avoid ruffling any feathers?
I'm going to see what I can discover through my own methods first, and then we'll discuss as a group how to move forward, I think. And it likely would be good for us to consult the rest of the council as well. I'm sure they will have something to add, which we
Aye,
may
no
not have
doubt.
thought
It's
of. Very well then. I will speak with you all soon.
as you will.
He will head out.
Don't.
But not like that.
No.
Oh, not like that.
Not
You
like
you
that.
you
No.
You have no
furl
joy
your
in
You think
cloak
you're
over
you think you're
and
better than us, Gwyneth?
You have no joy in
no,
putting
it's
up with
Yes,
just
your
not
heart,
his
British.
style. It's not. I mean, he goes down the street with a drum and a rap battle. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just a little.
Right
Use
then.
the
I
balls
think.
join whimsy.
Oh, go on. What was that?
Oh, I was gonna say he used up all his joy and whimsy by doing
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
there's a
With
boundless wellspring.
Yes. With this, we're going to
Yep.
focus on Gwyneth as Gwyneth goes to meditate. What would you like to do?
I would like to use some Krana
Mm-hmm.
and try to figure out what the F is going on. So it's the first one, which I'm gonna. My computer will cooperate with me. I didn't do it. It was rolling.
Sorry.
Oh yes,
okay.
Snorri mentioned to open the present. It's a
Oh, yeah.
common.
You get to open the present as well that Snorri gave you.
Oh yeah, I wasn't sure what the protocol of that was, whether I should do it in front of everybody or not.
It's up to you.
There wasn't any.
I mean, I guess he left, so Gwyneth will open it in front of everybody else in case it's a car
Alright.
bomb. We can all share in that.
Yes.
Car battery.
Rewind.
Alright, Snorri, what's inside the package?
Inside,
IRA forever.
inside you see the long end of a humerus bone wrapping around a oaken stake.
All right. Not sure what that means, but I imagine our friend can explain it to us when he returns.
It's
Is it
You
supposed to be
fairly
a
well crafted.
joke?
no, it's fairly well crafted. It's as if the humerus is used as a handle for the stake. So, interpret how you wish.
Do you
like it.
remember
Good for
anything of
stabbing.
this gift exchange, Sister Iris? He said they
No.
tended to do this one to the other.
Well,
Well,
I
all right.
don't know if I recall anyone ever sending Father Collins a gift wrapped steak.
Well, we shall find out, perhaps, the next time we see our new friend. But, back to the meditation. Gwyneth is going to use Gwobodai Thatir, knowledge of the land, to try and see what it will tell him, if anything.
Alright. Deception to
We
cult.
know where
difficulty
Oliver
7.
is. Yeah, and so I have to use one to activate it. And
1
does
point of
that
willpower to
automatically
activate.
give me one success, or is
Nope.
it
It does
two
not.
to guarantee a success?
2 to
Alright, so we're
guarantee a
using
success.
Because it's important. All right. And is difficulty 7, you said?
Difficulty 7, yes.
Uh,
The more successes, the more
7
clear the vision.
Got it. Fingers crossed, everybody.
Very nice.
Well, that's 3 successes,
3
I guess.
successes. Alright. As you are focusing in, using your power, you see a vision of Sir Oliver and what's her name?
Eloise.
Eloise, riding in a carriage together. You then have a vision of them in a church, standing hand in hand, before the vision changes again to them standing on the edge of a cliff. As Oliver turns around to look towards her, you can see she carries in her hands a bundle of cloth. You then hear the sounds of crying of a babe before the crying suddenly stops. As Sir Oliver reaches forward for the cloth, it falls apart to reveal nothing, and Sir Oliver is standing there alone. It then cuts to Oliver and Elise once again in the carriage as they step out, hand in hand, arriving in the city of Douglas. And you see a dark aura around Sir Oliver. It's at this point you hear, "Do you need some help, Gwyneth?" As
Is
you
this
see the dark
live?
aura. Yeah, as you see the dark aura, it is fuzzy and you can't quite see what it is. But you hear this voice of Owan in your head. "I could help you."
But Iran isn't the dark aura.
Nope. He's whispering in your ear. "All you would need to do is make an agreement. Do you want to know?"
Of course I want to know.
"Then make a sacrifice in my name, and the truth will be revealed." As the vision pulls back, as does the voice, as you find yourself once again sitting alone.
With just like punches the chair. He's pissed
Mhm.
off. He's so tired of this dude. Like, wow. But the dark aura's just around Oliver, right? Not Eloise.
From what you could tell, but it was very unclear. It's as if something was resisting your vision.
Not good. All right.
Right.
I'll wait for everybody else to do whatever they're doing in the meantime, and then probably call the full council back together.
Alright. Maud, are you doing anything in particular?
For the time being, I don't think Maud's. Actually, she might be seeing if she could maybe get a little midnight snack.
Alright.
Yeah.
And Iris, what are you up to? Anything in particular?
Let me check my blood.
Good idea.
That might not be a bad idea. Yeah, I'll probably do that too.
All right. I think in that case, we see both Maud and Iris as you're beginning to make your way out of the council ranger, creeping your way down the halls. At this point, I want you both to make a perception alertness.
All right. Perception alertness.
This will be difficulty 8.
Difficulty 8.
Just be discerning at all.
Oh!
I don't think it matters.
Nope. Never mind.
You pulled a me.
Well, I guess it's probably not navigation.
Nope.
Nope, but it's still one success for me.
One success. All right. Iris, you're like just making your way through. Before you see something shifting in the shadows. Maud, you know something else. As you're walking past, you see, you specifically walk past the room you normally stay in, when you are at the when you're at the castle. And as you look there, you notice the door is slightly ajar.
Yep. Well, I think Maud, noticing that, immediately pivots to kind of like glancing around. I think she'd head in towards where she'd usually stay.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's kind of glancing over her shoulder to make sure that nothing's creeping up behind her, but yeah, she's definitely heading in towards the ajar door.
As you do, you would look back and you would see Iris staring off into the darkness.
Yeah, it's looking the complete opposite direction.
Yeah.
Just
Iris?
I was pretty sure there's something in the shadow.
As you look out more, you don't see anything.
Yeah. Iris. The room I usually stay in. She kind of like gestured towards the door with the tilt of her head.
In there? I'm sure it's lovely.
No, you know the kindred that, the stake that I was keeping an eye on? I'm a bit worried about that in particular. My door is open when it should not have been.
Oh. Yes, that is concerning.
I think Maud at that point would just kind of push the door open.
As you do it, opens wide into a dark room.
Mm-hmm.
Perception awareness. Difficulty 7.
Let's fucking go. Perception awareness.
Yep. Unfortunately for you, Iris, you're still startled by the shadows, so you cannot make this roll.
Yeah. Did you say 6
Difficulty
or
7 in this case.
7? Awesome.
It's because it's dark, it's hard to see, but you're actively looking.
Yes. 1 success.
All right. As you look around, the room appears empty. But as you look down, you see what looks to be part of a broken lock. As a note for all the rooms, they are lockable from the inside. However, in this case, it does not look as if it's been unlocked. It's been broken.
Yep. I think as well, because she was the staked guy. Was Maud in fact keeping
He was
him
in a cell.
He was in a cell. Never mind. I'm mixing order of operations.
moved him.
We did move him. Yes.
The first night he was with you. Yeah.
Yes. Cool. Just making sure I wasn't misremembering. Okay, so someone was definitely in my room, and yeah, they're lookable from the inside.
What?
Yeah, I think Maud wouldn't have mentioned.
Just to check, you did put him in the cells, right?
Yeah, we did. I'm pretty sure.
All right, never mind. This doesn't happen. This scene doesn't
Oh,
happen.
Yeah.
cool. Okay.
Yeah, I was pretty sure he was staying with you as well, but I might be misremembering.
Yeah, I thought so too. But then no, thinking, yeah, because I thought I would double check.
Yeah, I
because,
know we
We
talked
meant to
about
move him
putting
once
him
we
in the
started
cell.
giving him blood, but we might not have gotten to it.
Let's check.
Yeah, actually, I'll
I
check my
looked through my
notes
notes.
because, yeah, I don't know if we actually did or not. Because I know we discussed it.
We
Yeah,
talked about
we talked
doing a
about
lot
it.
of things. Whether or not a lot of the things that we talked
Yeah.
about happened is another story.
The last thing that is said is we leave the staked body in Maud's care, but I do seem to remember there being conversations about moving it. I don't know
I do
for
remember,
sure.
but I don't know if it was ever confirmed.
I'm
Yes.
almost within a shadow of a doubt certain that that was one of the last things that Oliver did before they left the castle to go on the
Yes.
hunt.
Yeah, because we talked about it,
That
and
makes-
Amir was like very interested in seeing what happened with the guy. I remember that.
Yeah,
That's
because
right.
last time Maud
Right.
saw the body, yeah, she was watching it overnight. Yeah.
In that case, don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all
Cool.
fine.
Very good.
That's what could have happened.
Oh no! Oh no!
Instead, we see Iris at the shadow.
Instead, we see Iris at the shadow, and
Yep.
as you're walking your way, actually, no, I think you still rewind.
Yes.
You find the door to your room open, and as you step inside, you find a dead body on the ground. The lock is not broken.
Yep.
It was just not locked.
I think Maud immediately kind of tries to assess the state of the body. Definitely dead.
Make a.
If she
This would be.
recognizes-
Are you doing it at a distance, or are you getting close to it?
I think Maud would get close.
All right. In that
I think
case,
she's
we're.
gonna runs up to body.
This will be an intelligence and medicine. If you don't have medicine, you can use just intelligence, but it will be at a very high difficulty.
I
Yep,
have
it-
medicine. I think you do too.
I do not.
Oh. I do.
Well, it'll just make an intelligence. And what difficulty? You said it was high?
Difficulty 9 for you.
9? Let's go. One success
Very
somehow.
nice.
Oh yeah.
There is like blood around,
Mhm.
and the body does itself look like there's like a massive neck wound on the side of it. You can't tell whether or not the person is alive, but you can assume they're dead.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't sense any like of the faint signs or anything. You're just like, this person's probably dead.
Yep. Definitely, I think looking at the neck wound, I think Maud's immediate assumption is definitely K-Knight. Well, this is not meant to be here.
You recognize it? Or her? Or them?
I don't think so. But they're in the room I'd stay in if I were here.
They look to be dressed as a
Where?
servant.
Well, there's a few things. For one, if you feel unsafe here, as a result, there is always the church if you need a place to stay while you're in the city. Second, should we get that Snorri fellow, since he seems to be the one in charge of the dead,
That might be a good idea. I think you should.
And
While I'll keep an eye,
Hmm.
make sure the body doesn't go missing or get seen by anyone it shouldn't be.
right. Then, when the prince is ready, we shall bring this to his attention. In the meanwhile, I'll fetch Snorri.
Alright.
All right then. At which point, we cut to Randolph and Gwennet as they make their way down the hall towards where Judas has been staying.
All right. For obvious reasons, I'll let you do the talking.
Yes, I think that's wise. Let's knock on the door.
As you knock on the door,
Polite, but also I know he has 75 chains holding it shut.
as you knock on the door opens very quickly as you see the hunched form of Stefan go, "Yes, yes, what is it?"
I'm here to speak with your master.
"The master is very busy." And then he looks behind him.
I'm sure he is.
"One moment."
Surely.
You hear footsteps. You hear the sound of something heavy against something else. Before the door opens and you see Stefan visibly shaking as he has what looks to be large claw marks along his cheek. As he goes, the master will see you now. As the door opens wide.
Thank you.
In Randolph's head, he's like,
Gwyneth
well,
leads the
yeah,
way.
he almost turned away the prince. Surely that's earned a clawed slap.
As you do, you see Judas putting things away in a large crate. As he looks to you and says, "Ah, Prince Gwynedd, what brings you?"
Good evening, cousin. Well, I've come to ask if you reconsidered my offer to stay in the city if you follow the rules.
I have done nothing but follow your rules. What rule have I broken?
And
It seems as if it
you
is
have
you
not,
that has the issue.
to my knowledge. Very well. Then, if you follow the rules and choose to contribute to the community, have you decided that you will?
I will contribute in the way that I can. It is you who has had a problem with the way I have proposed contribution.
Perhaps I misunderstand what you had proposed to contribute, cousin. To
I
explain.
can contribute aid. I have servants. I can create powerful servitors for your service. I can also aid in taking care of small problems. But you asked for something I could not give. Knowledge is precious. It must be earned.
See, yes, I did suggest that you contribute in a specific way on my last visit here, but that particular
I will not
problem,
contribute
I
in a way
believe,
that is beneath me.
and I respect that. That makes perfect sense. I think I At the time, thought you were simply refusing to contribute. But as long as you are contributing, then I am willing to extend hospitality beyond 3 days. And apologize for the misunderstanding.
Make a... Well, first of all, are you being genuine? Or are you trying to manipulate him?
He really is. He really is, honestly.
Alright.
He has the least amount of problem with Judas of anybody in the cast.
In that case, we're looking at probably charisma etiquette.
Charisma etiquette, alright. Let's see.
This will be difficulty 7, as he's not too sure. But you are of his blood, so he's more inclined to listen to you. And take you at your word.
Elf wouldn't mind an army
Alright,
of Slasher, but also other people would.
Let's... It's not botch. It's not botch. No! Why?
Oh
Oof.
dear.
He looks at you.
I tried, y'all.
Did
I
your
might
best.
be willing to. Under condition.
What condition is that?
Either you conform to the true path, or one of your child does. I have been in need of a new student.
Asking a great deal.
And
It
your
won't be
answer.
me. But I will discuss it with my childer.
As this conversation is
have-
going on, oops, sorry.
You have until the next moonrise.
Understood.
I shall prepare in case your decision is not the right one. As he returns back to packing his things.
That's what I was going to ask. Does it look like he's packing to leave, or just putting things away in general?
Make a perception commerce? No, that wouldn't be it. I think this would be a perception and investigation. Either that or a wits investigation, actually.
My wits is slightly better. Let's do that.
Right. Difficulty 7, as he has a lot of strange things that you don't quite recognize. Weird occult things.
2 successes. I imagine my specialty doesn't apply.
Probably not in this case. It genuinely looks like he's packing his stuff to leave. He's seemingly putting away a lot of the things, and he's doing it carefully in a way that it seems important. Which you would think he would only be packing if he intended to leave.
Yeah, it's not the putting away of tools to like get other things. It's careful preparedness.
Alright.
But yes, I think as the conversation comes to a close, Randolph's eyes scan over the room one more time before meeting the gaze of Prince Gwynedd.
Very well. I will return to you before then, or by then, with my answer.
He nods. He then kind of turns away from
Till
you,
then.
signaling the conversation is over.
Yep, we head out.
After a significant distance to escape the earshot of these echoing places, Randolph will say, I'm curious as to why you didn't take the easy out.
How do you mean?
He was already preparing to leave, having not found what he was searching for. Here and now, off you go. As a castle cat comes by. And he says, people with significant advantages over you are generally good for one of two things. One, to use as tools against enemies who are of equal power, or to avoid and to stay out of their way. And I'll be honest, I don't see much of a problem so long as he can keep his things subtle. I don't think that will occur, and I imagine there will be a little more friction between the more humane members of the court.
I agree, it does pose a problem, and he asks a great sacrifice. However, seeing the situation in which we find ourselves currently, perhaps even on the brink of war with Douglas, it seems foolish to let such a powerful ally leave.
If he'll be
So I
worth
must
more
consider it.
than... Quite so. If he'll be worth more than the potential trouble, it's good. An elder like that with the powers he has, we could use additional force. But, well, you are of your blood and we've seen what your grandsire can do. Subtlety is rare when such force is discussed. But any advantage we can seize is good. If your childer will prove amenable to learning that path, I don't think it would be a bad idea. That said, the problem can be out of our hair and kicked into the echoes of eternity. Simply with a no. Assuming, of course, he leaves.
True, but even if he leaves, he could become a different sort of problem in the future. He could join our enemies. Many things could occur.
For what it's worth, I don't imagine that Atticus will accept the presence of Aesemis, nor indeed the baronies of Avalon much the same, but you are right. The worst case scenario is that he holds up somewhere in the island and becomes an independent warlord.
And I hate to say it, but we have far more enemies than potentially Prince Atticus. There are things afoot, I think, we have not yet seen all of, and I fear they may be coming to light soon.
Aye. Alright. Best path, discuss it with your child, or see if they're into it. If they aren't into it, then see what needs doing. Would you?
Yes.
If necessary, would you learn that path? See what all the fuss is about.
I couldn't and adhere to my own path. I couldn't do what I do and follow that path, unfortunately.
That's why it's a sacrifice.
Correct.
There's a lot of people who'd sacrifice anything and everything for power. Most of them kindred. Most of them Cadites. Bet you he did. Though I
Oh,
don't
we all
quite
do.
know. I don't quite know if he'd have made the same decision if he saw how he'd turn out. But as he is now, I bet it's having a right old time. Still, we'll see what needs doing. If this is no longer a problem, then we can face other issues.
Quite so. Let's call the council. I have some details to share about what may or may not be occurring with Oliver.
Aye, that'd be good to know. Depending on the, my cat all tabbed. Depending on what needs to be done, I might go for a patrol with Ragnar, see what's in the city, what's around.
Yes, I have a feeling we are going to be on a heightened sense of alert regardless after this.
I'll get the others. There's a dead body in this room. Nice.
I added it. Decoration.
That's out of character.
All right.
For decoration, it's Kermit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just hang him on the wall.
it's Kermit.
I added it for decoration.
All
Like
right. At this point, who is invited to the proper council meeting?
Everybody.
Not me. I'm joking.
Everybody. No, yeah, not me.
Not me.
I won't be there.
I don't
Well, I
want-
mean
don't wanna
more
remember.
among the NPCs.
I
So
imagine
it's
Morana and Amir.
Amir.
Yeah.
I feel bad leaving Snorri out, but he's not officially council.
I mean,
the
Iris
Crypt
is
Keeper
going to talk to
council?
him.
Yeah, Iris is gonna grab him.
Probably not.
You know what?
I don't
Bring
think
him
he's inner
on.
circle.
He has
or-
permanent. Get that fucker in here. Bring him
All
on.
right.
I
He's
wouldn't.
an ancillary.
At this point, we cut back to Iris as Iris is quickly making her way out of the castle, trying to catch up with Snorri. As we see Snorri about at the threshold of the castle.
He's so slow.
Snorri, would
Damn.
you be able to make me a perception and awareness?
Sure. If you can tell me what I need to roll.
Sure thing. So it will be actually this will be alertness, so actually it'll be 5 dice. It would be difficulty 7, however you cut it down to difficulty 5 with your aspects. So 5, difficulty 5. Four successes. With that story, as you're about to step out, you notice something's moving in the shadows. As you turn around, you see a figure on all fours, slowly moving themselves, as if stalking you. However, you watch as they quickly turn and start climbing their way up the side of the castle, climbing up, ducking into one of the little windows. As you look at it, it looks to be a human figure with a heavy beard and an inhuman look in their eyes, deadly pale. At which point, Iris, you step out to see Snorri looking up at the side of the castle.
Did you see it too?
He stares up at the window for a long moment. Climbed up your castle and into your window. It's not
no.
human. You should probably look into it, and it seemed to be stalking me. I'm going to look into it.
Right.
And he turns slowly, walking into the back through the entranceway
Uh,
at a
I think
amazingly
Iris looks at
fast pace.
Iris looks at the wall for a moment before like looking back, expecting him to still be there, and then he's think a little bit, oh no, and she walk like speed walks to keep up with him. Like, well, yes, we could look into this, but there's also another thing. There's a dead body in the. We could absolutely look into this. This is why this is probably more pressing. But there is also a dead body in my friend's room.
He looks over his shoulder for just a second as he's quickening his pace even further. If it's dead, it'll
Speaking
still be
space.
dead.
Sure. All right. I suppose we're investigating now. And she'll quicken her
Where's-
pace to keep quick.
Where's your
Okay.
Valkyrie or your sheriff?
Oh, my Valkyrie is the sheriff is Maud is with the dead body, and the sheriff is with the prince.
You should get one of them. And he starts heading towards whatever the stairs are, having no idea the layout of the castle and yet trying to figure it out.
Yes, of course. And she'll just double back to Maud.
All right then.
God.
At this point, we cut back to Randolph and Gwynedd as they're making their way back to the meeting chamber to see Maud standing outside of a room. I imagine arms crossed or something along those lines.
Absolutely. Just kind of like trying to look as intimidating as possible to try and like, while also kind of keeping one side of her body kind of close to the door so she can hear through it, just in case there's any like disturbances or anything on that end.
Maud, good to see you. How'd your hunt go?
I didn't get to go on a hunt. I suppose a dead body found itself to me.
Oh. You
No.
don't seem the type, but good on you.
Maud just kind of opens her door. I did not put that in there.
Oh, I see. Right. Then it's anomalous.
Yes.
What did?
Not sure yet. I assume from the wound, one of our kind.
Cool. I'll get to tracking.
Yeah, sounds good.
Has anyone checked on our guest recently?
No.
We've got quite a few.
The woods. The one in the cell
The steak.
downstairs.
Yes.
Good idea. If he's recovered, then he'll likely be hungry. And if he's whited, then he'll likely be killing. We'll take a look. Though I'll follow the trail.
Gwynedd, perception alertness, difficulty 9, though you can lower it with your
Oh,
spell.
shit. Yeah. Let's lower it with Auspex, why don't we?
I was like, hey, nice, you're eating the whole thing. That's very, very hunting of you.
And Maud just opens the door.
Just opens the door and is
I
like,
didn't put it
that's not
there."
mine.
Yeah, it's not mine. I didn't put that there.
Love
You've got a permit
Such
for
a-
that, I understand.
Such a good line. I did not put it there.
Okay, let's go.
Very nice.
Whoa.
All right,
shit.
yeah. Gwynedd, as you're talking, there's a moment where you find yourself stopping because you hear something. The sounds of scratching above you through the stone. You can just make it out from the floor above. Something scratching against stone.
And what's above us? Just another castle room?
Another corridor.
I hear something above us just now. I think he'll go to the window and like look out. Like, is there another window?
As
Like
you
up
look out,
above
there is
us?
another window there.
I'm on it.
Yeah,
Are
he
there,
was
are
about
there
to go, and then he's like,
yeah.
Randolph's here.
Yeah,
Do
that
you-
was there.
are there stairs, or is the window the fastest way?
You could take the stairs, it'd be much slower. You have to run all the way down the hall and then go up the whatchamacallit, the palace.
I shall take the stairs and meet you there. How about that?
Be there shortly. Randolph will step out onto the balcony and, with a mighty, try to climb his way up. And if it will help, Mark, I will activate Feral Claws, in which to help with my climbing.
Good thing you did. So this will be a strength and I'm gonna say athletics.
I'm gonna pump 2 points of blood into my strength.
This would normally be difficulty 8, but with your claws, I'll knock it down to 7.
Very nice.
And as a note, you need at least 2 successes not to start falling.
Oh.
Got you. I think for funsies, and also this is a survivey thing, I will spend a point of willpower to get an automatic success.
All right.
It was something that
would
would have
the-
been very convenient for this.
Would the powerful spec apply?
I'm gonna say yes. I think it's fair enough.
In that
Holy
case,
shit.
9 successes.
Whoa!
Yeah, we watch as he like
Goodness.
stands on the windowsill before looking out, and we just see just quickly, very inhuman, as he just claws and pulls himself up powerfully as he gets up to the next window. As you do, you arrive pulling yourself up onto the windowsill and into the corridor as you look to see what looks to be large claw marks in the stone. You also see another body.
That's fine. He'll eat it later.
Uh,
He needs to find the killer.
Out of curiosity, what's your blood at the moment?
His
How's
blood
your hunger?
is. His hunger is fine. He has. Do you want me to
More than
say
half.
where I'm at? Yeah,
Uh,
he's over half.
okay.
Well over half.
Then you're fine.
Got a
Yeah.
full belly of Percy, just not
Exactly. Percy is flowing through him.
Mhm.
Alright then.
What else we were supposed to check on and haven't gotten to yet.
Yep. I think
fine.
Maud as well will try and follow
Alright.
Randolph out the window.
Strength athletics, difficulty 8 for you because you don't have claws.
Indeed. But before I do that, let me just check what my blood is at before I decide to do this. Wouldn't put me below half, so I will spend a point of blood to activate a spiritus aspect of the beast, specifically leapfrog. Leap 3 times the normal height and distance.
Perfect.
Ooh.
Yes, I think kind of more taking on a couple of kind of like aspects almost of kind of like a bat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Would that lower the difficulty at all? Or add any
Yes.
bonuses?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, you would. Actually, I gotta double check what the power does.
Actually, yeah, because it's related to jumping, I think. Either that, or I could boost my strength instead.
I
that
think
might
it would
actually
still
do
work because you basically
still
like
work,
jump
yeah.
up to like you're banking on being able to like grab on at the right moment.
Right.
So I'd
yeah,
say
yeah.
you'd knock the difficulty down to like 7. I think that's fair enough.
To 7, cool. Yeah. And, what was it again? Was it strength?
Strength athletics.
Strength
Oops.
athletics. Okay. That was difficulty 7. Let me just double check my My potence. Yeah, I think. Well, I think. Yeah, I can't spend another point of blood, so I'm gonna have to add them to the roll.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, strength athletics. 1, 2, difficulty 7. 3 successes.
That's enough as you
Nice.
we
Actually,
watch
would
you.
lifting apply? Because I can lift myself into the window.
I'm gonna say no,
Nah,
but
nah,
it is
that's
enough
fair, that's
successes
fair.
nonetheless.
That's fine.
Would be cooler.
I lift the building. That's how I
I
get it.
lift the building. I lift
Biceps
myself.
bulge dramatically.
So yeah, I think we
That's
just
Extra hot.
watch as you like stand on the edge, crouch down before jumping upwards at an inhuman speed before grabbing onto the edge and managing to climb and pull yourself over. It's perhaps not as flawless um, as Randolph, but it does the job.
Exactly.
You managed to do the inhuman, the impossible, technically,
Mm-hmm.
at least for mortals. As you
yeah.
pull yourself over, you see very much the same thing: the claw marks in the stone and the dead body.
That's not good.
To Gwyneth just walking up the stairs.
Going up the stairs, going up the stairs.
For Randolph's part, he's barely showing the dead body any mind. It's what kind do. It is a marker only that his quarry has come across here. So he's going to see if he can follow the trail that this messy eater leaves.
All right, both of you can make a wits survival. Tracking would
Survival.
apply.
Very nice. Survivor.
Yeah, checking would apply. Navigation, I assume not. No, wits. No, never mind. That's not perception.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's wits survival. You said.
5 successes.
Cool.
Wits survival.
Standard.
Nice. Yep, standard diff.
3 successes.
All right, both of you come to the same conclusion as you see like a trail of droplets of blood leading down the hallway.
I'm so good at this.
I think we both look to you as you share a nod and begin making your way down the hallway, chasing after the tracks. Before we cut back to Iris and Snorri, as they are making their way deeper into the castle to try and figure out what's going on, you come across 2 figures. Seem to arrive relatively in sequence. Sister Morana, and followed not behind from her, Amir. Sister Morana immediately looks at you, Snorri, and goes, "So you're back at last, huh?"
Yes. And apparently just in time. It's good to see you, Sister Marana.
She narrows her eyes.
As he continues to walk.
She looks to Sister Morana looks to you, Iris, and goes, "Why is it so important? And why does he just say just in time?"
Shadow creature.
What?
Shadow creature goes after him.
All right. Do you run after Sister Morana?
I-
Just turns around to look at Amir. Amir has disappeared. And she just sighs.
As this walk is going on, I will be spending a point of blood as his bottom lip rolls in and his teeth extend or descend, piercing his tongue. For your reference, Mark.
Yup. As it does blood flows through your mouth. And you continue down the hallway, along with Iris, not
Mhm.
followed not far behind. We watch as you make your way up the stairs, going around and around until the about level where you remember seeing the figure, and begin making your way down the hall. Are you doing anything specific to attempt to track this man down, or this thing down? Either of you.
Uh, I know
Go
that
ahead.
Iris is seeing something different, because she's going off of her bot from earlier, I imagine. But so she's just kind of peering in the shadows, looking for, any sort of, disturbance. But just trying to discern if there's anything different, anything that
All right.
stands out.
That would be perception alertness for you. Go ahead.
Meanwhile, I think that Snorri would have, with the amount of time it took them to get up the stairs, would assume that the creature, the humanoid creature, was no longer in that room, and he's going to be using his heightened senses to try to catch the smell and sound.
All right. In that case, this
Uh,
will be a perception alertness for you. It'll be difficulty 4 for you.
that is 4 successes, potentially plus more if discerning would apply.
I'd say it would in this case. So how many successes
That's the
total?
same roll I had last time, right?
Yeah,
It would
same
be
roll.
at least 5. I cannot tell how many 10s I got. Let
You
Thomas
got
roll.
6 successes.
Ooh.
Alright.
I got 4 successes.
Yeah, 4 successes. Both of you are following these tracks, seeing these every once in a while these large scars that are in the stone, as if something has carved through it. Looks to be like these gigantic looking talons or claws. As you follow down the hallway, you eventually arrive at a door that is partially ajar.
They run into me on the way, or no? They're on a different floor.
They're on a different floor. You're still climbing the stairs technically, and you're like,
With
Shall we?
no even concern about the door. He just pushes the door open,
Yeah.
walking in, not even hesitantly, just walking straight in.
you look around and you see something hunched in the corner. It's hard to make out the figure in the shadows, but they look to be hunched over another figure that lies in the ground. And you hear this horrific sucking and lapping noise. The telltale sounds of feeding. You watch as the figure's head raises and turns to look at you as you see these glowing red eyes.
Yeah, the second we see a thing, I just kind of want to shoot out my arms of Armin to try and grab it.
Alright, make your roll for it. I think with this we can probably move to something more.
Just remind me, the initial roll is for that, because you have the book handy.
Oh, of course.
Thank you. Should be the last time I need.
It's page 230. Arms of Ahriman is Manipulation Occult, difficulty 7.
Is that with the updated rules?
The roll itself is the same. The updated rules are to like grab and attack.
Okay.
I have to summon them first.
You get 1 tentacle.
What a sentence.
You
Just
get a
one.
tentacle, and you get a tentacle.
No, only you get a tentacle. You guys
As
don't
one tentacle forms in the shadows, this tendril of dark energy arriving next to the creature as it turns, and you hear a vile hissing sound. Snorri, what would you like to do as your first action?
I would like to, since he's crouching in the corner, he would like to approach and try to grab him by the scruff of, like, the back of the neck in any way he can and push him down so that he can bite
All right
on the
then.
next action.
For you, this will be a strength roll. But he is going
And
to
I
use his
would
action
like
to
to
attempt
go
to
ahead.
dodge.
How many blood? Did we roll blood for him yet?
I'm going to say you are at 15 points of blood.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and pump 3 into strength real quick
Mm-hmm.
before I make the roll.
Sure thing.
And then what's that put me at for strength and brawl?
That will put you at...
With potence.
Yes. 6. 10. 12. He is going to attempt to dodge.
Nice. I really like this music.
Stave is really cool.
6. Ooh. Ah, but he got a 1.
Oh,
Oh, you also got a
so
1.
did Snorri.
So that's 3
Yeah,
on
so it's-
3. In this case, defender wins. As you go to grab him, you watch as he snarls and like quickly darts through your grip, moving around you as he hisses.
Yep.
That is his action. At this point, we see Randolph and Mord arriving down the hall. You can see Iris standing outside of the doorway, holding their hands out. And you are maybe a round away, unless you were to use celerity.
I've got no celerity, but I will be making my way in.
Yeah, I do have celerity. Let me check that. Yeah. I think for the time being, I won't spend it yet.
All right.
Conserve that blood.
In that case, for this round, I need initiative rolls from Iris and Snorri. Snorri, for you, it will be a... Go ahead, what was your question, Tom?
Could I make my way to the area and shoot with a bow?
Well, you need to still do a round to be able to get to the doorway.
Yeah, good point, good point.
You could once you get to the doorway, but you still
By
need
that
to
point,
travel
it's...
the distance.
Yeah, indeed.
It's hard to fire a bow indoors.
Most
For you,
people.
Snorri, it'll be a D10 plus 7.
Yes.
Hold on.
Is Gwynedd up those stairs yet? It's like-
Gwynedd's making their way there.
Yep.
You have to go down, then out, then up.
Puzzle's a nightmare to navigate unless you climb out the window.
Oh no.
Roll a survival check.
Alright. Snorri got an 11. And for him, where is it? There it is. I forget that I still have a kid.
He's a great gangrel.
Here we go. As you guys face down the Dog Lord.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ragnar.
I'm glad.
No.
Alright.
Ragnar, how did you do?
No,
With
I was
that,
saying I call upon him.
Snorri, you get to go first. At an 11.
Alright. We will try that again. But I'm going to go ahead and spend one more blood to make potence automatic.
Alright.
So it was what, 12 minus 2 or 3?
Minus 2.
10.
Is Oliver breaking up for anyone else? I mean, Drew.
Nope.
Nope.
No, it seems to
Okay,
be fine on
just
my
me then.
end. Oh no.
No.
That's plus 3.
Hey.
Alright.
Hey.
So that will
That
be
is-
6.
That's right.
6 successes. The Dog Lord is going to attempt to dodge. He's not getting enough successes. So you grab onto him. As you grab onto what's left of the ruined clothes. Holding him in place as he desperately tries to, like, break out of them, tearing at them with his large claws. That was his turn. Iris! It's your turn. You have your
Yay.
tendril out. What would you like to do?
Yeah. I would like to smack, try to grapple him.
Alright. Make the
That
appropriate
one.
roll.
Yes.
And you can add your potent stats.
Hooray. So that one would be, I believe, the strength or dexterity.
Dexterity to hit, and it's equal to your ob 10. Nice.
3 successes.
You grab onto him as the large tendril wraps around his throat. But you can still see the beast fighting, trying desperately to get away. At that point, I would like Maud and Randolph to roll initiative. Gwynedd, you have arrived at the top of the stairs, and you can see Maud and Randolph running towards Iris, who's currently looking at the room, holding their hands out. And you are but around to get there unless you have celerity.
I do not.
Let's do it this way. Ah, here it is. Oh,
Hey.
we are the Bash
Ooh.
Bros.
We are. Let's go.
So yeah, I think both of you
Holy crap.
turn the corner at the same time as you see Snorri grabbing onto the familiar previously staked gangrel that is now red-eyed, large claws, fighting desperately as a tendril of shadow wraps around its throat.
Lord. A question for you, Mr. Mark.
Mhm.
do I see within his gaze any intellect at all, or is it just the beast? Is it just a white?
This will be a wits and empathy. This will be, yeah, standard.
Indeed. 0 successes. I can't tell.
Yeah, no, you can't tell. Again, with the bright red eyes, he clearly has power activated, so it's just hard to tell.
Indeed. I'll say this much. Failing to kill when one's life is on the line is a path rating, and he's got ag claws out. So do I. I am going to swipe at him with my feral claws while he is held by Snorri.
All right, then.
And the tentacle. This poor guy is just getting grappled.
Dexterity roll.
Let's see how this goes. 9 successes.
Yeah,
Whoa.
he's going
Lord.
to attempt to dodge at great disadvantage.
Please.
Difficulty 8. Yeah, it's not enough.
Alright, so that's 9 versus 2 is damage with 6 plus 1. Let's do this. Luckily those 10s are probably pulling their weight, even as those 1s are taking them away. With the powerful spec, that becomes 4.
Yes, so that's 4 successes. 4
Yes,
points of
4
aggravated damage. But he does get his, force.
He does. This man's a kinsman.
1 success, so he takes 3 points of damage.
Egg.
3 points of ag.
He was
Yeah,
a
he's not
failure
liking
before he lost his mind. Look at him now.
Yeah, you hear the roar of the beast. Alright then. With that, next up, Maud. You turn the corner to see the very much thing. I imagine you'd have your spear in hand.
She had a. I think
Oh.
it was a spear axe, I think.
Axe, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Actually,
that
does Maud
Oh, yeah.
carry their axe around them
Actually-
all the time?
not all the time. I think
Then I think this is probably a case we actually roll a d10. Tell me high or low.
yeah, sure. All right. Low. Are you kidding me?
That's
You do not
the
have your
opposite
axe.
of low.
You
That's
do
fine.
not have your axe.
That's fine. I think in that moment, Maud doesn't particularly care.
Alright.
She can work without it. I think she'll just kind of sprint over to the person who was definitely staked earlier, who is now no longer
Yep.
in top 4. And she's just going to essentially, like, how is he, like, so he's being held by the tentacles,
He's
correct?
he's being held around the neck by the tentacles and he's being grabbed by Snorri.
Yep. I think in that case, I think Maud just kind of goes. I think just directly for a hit to the face, just kind of with as much force as she can muster.
Alright then, strength, dexterity brawl. You have potence,
Yep.
so you can do lethal damage.
Ooh. Yeah.
Because normally you would do, bludgeon, not bludgeoning.
Bludgeoning, yeah.
Bashing.
Bashing, yeah.
Playing too much Pathfinder.
Yeah. Yeah, I think as well. Yeah, and if I spent the blood to. No, I won't do that yet. No, yeah, that's strength. That's not.
That would be
dex.
strength.
Yeah, that'd be
Dex.
strength. Yeah. Heal. Let's triple check.
You do get to add your celerity dice to this because you did
Celerity.
not spend it for extra actions this round.
Exactly. Yeah.
Alternatively, you could spend it now to get another action, but you couldn't add it to the attack.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
And that would be your blood spent for the round.
Yes, it would. No, I think in this instance I'm just gonna add it to the roll.
Alright.
Dun, 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 dun. Which one was it? My fourth one. Four successes.
Alright. That is +3 to the damage.
All right.
This will be
Just my
Your-
strength.
strength. Yeah, it'd be your strength plus your potency.
Yep.
Spend a point of
Right.
blood to make them automatic successes.
Yeah, I think in this instance I will do that.
In that case,
Very
just roll your
nice.
strength.
Yep. Throw my strength. I don't know down that I spent that point of blood. That does put me at half.
Good to know.
Yep.
Plenty
Alright.
of bodies around.
Exactly. Yeah, literally plenty of bodies. We're all good. Alright.
Well, we'll have to cover it up, but you know.
Fine.
That's what we have Snorri here for.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, just my strength. Automatic 4 successes. 7.
Nice.
Ooh.
7 points of damage. He's going to attempt to soak. He soaks 1 point. So he takes 6 points of damage. Goes over, so then he takes. Alright.
2 points of ag?
Yep.
Yep.
Fine. And as you hit him, you hear the sound of snapping as the neck is snapped. Spinal cord.
I think Maud just kind of stares down at him.
Snorri, it's your turn.
Oh, I mean, far be it for. What's Snorri's dex at currently?
Your dex is 3.
Alright. He's gonna, since it was always his intention to anyway, where he has him kind of scruffed, he's gonna lean down and just bite into him, or at least attempt to.
Alright, then. This will be dexterity plus roll. For you, that is 7 dice. And this will be difficulty. Yeah, let's say difficulty 5.
And I'm gonna go ahead and spit into willpower.
Alright.
A good thing you did.
Mm-hmm.
3 oh, that would be no successes, but with your willpower, that is 1 success. With that, you will be rolling,
I never added the plus. Whoops.
your...
Want me to look it up?
be 5 dice.
And I'm going to
Do which is
go ahead and spend that last blood to put me at 10 to do potence is automatic.
Alright, in that case, it's 3 dice, 2 auto successes.
So that's gonna be 3,
Uh,
4, 5 times 2
Yes.
and lethal.
Uh, yep. So with that, you watch
Oh.
as the fangs descend into the throat, and you watch as the blood that was in Story's mouth almost seems to move around the wounds, sinking into it. As you watch the Dog Lord, you see a bit where like the blood starts to move to heal what it can, before finally it stops and he goes completely limp. In fact, you did.
And lethal.
I know that much.
Yeah.
I don't
And
think
lethal,
that's
I
enough
think,
to
would
destroy
fill
him.
out. I think it might be because he got 3 ag and then he got
it 2 ag?
6 lethal, right? Which would put 2 more ag damage there, and then when he took 10 lethal, it would probably fill up the tracker. It might not kill him depending on
Yeah,
like
because it's not aggravated damage.
yeah,
The main thing is that the final
that's
bit of
right.
damage isn't aggravated
Has to
damage.
be ag. That's right. That's
Yep.
right.
So yeah, he is fully knocked out. Alright, and with that, Gwynedd, you arrive to see the scene.
I think Iris is just slamming him on the ground with the tentacle.
It's...
Puny
I
God.
assume
Well
Snorri's
then.
let go before you did that, and you're not just flinging Snorri around as well.
Oh, yeah,
No,
yeah.
Snorri let go after,
Yeah.
it went limp.
100%.
Mhm.
I have common sense, you know.
Yeah, Maud pulled her hand back as well as he kind of went limp.
Yeah.
So is he back in torpor now, or he's
Yep.
just
He's now in true
passed
torpor.
out?
Damaged torpor. So
Mm-hmm.
he's going to be out for a while longer.
I don't think this is a thing that we should allow survive.
Certainly not, but for the time being, let
For the
us just
time
return
being.
him to his former state. Yes, we have things to discuss besides the
I
immediate.
think this is a
When
bit
we
more
discuss
pressing.
things, this
person.
thing could wake up and kill more people. Do you really want to stand around and discuss things and wait for it to...
Gwen holds up the steak that Snorri gave him, and he's like, "This is what he has in mind: is just to stake it again."
It's already that
I
clearly.
understand.
It didn't work.
Well, it
Correction.
did,
Well, we
but it got
took it out.
removed.
Not.
But
It was removed so he could heal. Because you didn't know
We
what the state he was in.
We intended to ask him questions, but it seems he has killed at least 4 people, I want to say, including his jailer. I would recommend you giving us permission to grant him final death. However, it's your decision, and when he's staked, he's not much of a problem anyway. We'll have to figure out how to cover up the deaths.
Yes. Just
So
for now.
when you say
I'll leave
that's Snort, go ahead.
for us to meet once as a council, and then after that can be taken care of.
Right?
Snorri blinks at Randolph as there's the statement of we'll have to figure out how to cover up the deaths. Not cover up death, but I know where to put them. I will take care of it.
That is good to hear. But even if people go missing, a story needs to be spun. But I do
Why?
trust that such similar arrangements have been made before.
Looked at you very quizzically, like, why? But he
Because these
shrugs.
men worked for the King of Eel. They were not under our direct employ. They are mortals with lives
Correct.
that people will be looking for.
He just
Yes,
shakes his head
and
and goes on about the business.
Well,
Protect the silence, Snorri. I'm sure you're aware of it.
Different conversation for a different time.
Many conversations lately.
that being said,
Just
shall we get to our
take.
meeting? I'll organize
Yes.
the bodies with
Let's
Snorri
do
if need
so.
be. Mm.
Let's bring our friend to the council chamber. Seems having him out of our sight did not work well the last time.
Just above table, let's stake him here and now.
Yes.
Oh yeah. For
Who
sure.
is doing the shaking?
Maud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
got
All
the big,
right.
strong arms.
Yeah.
I think that
Witch
Iris
medicine.
hasn't let go of the tentacle.
Oh god, it's
so...
medicine.
Oh,
No, don't let me
wait,
do it.
wait.
Don't let me do it.
Maybe Snorri should do
Honestly,
this.
maybe Gwyneth should do this. Honestly,
You are
can I
holding the
stake him
stake.
with his own
You can.
breastbone? I would love to stake him with his own breastbone because I can do that.
I will say,
I think you should use the
his,
stake that's.
If his heart is like flesh crafted the rib cage to do that, I don't believe it paralyzes. I think it just makes him lose half his blood pool. I could be wrong though.
Technically, you can use bone
That's
as a
no more
stake.
than I do.
That's right.
I think
might be thinking of
specifically it
modern
would
ways.
have to be. In either case, it would have to be broken off. It had to be a separate entity.
Yep.
So you could break off like a rib and shove it into his heart.
No, I was
Metal
just
as
gonna
hell.
rend his osseous frames, so let's
Otherwise,
just
yeah.
use our present from our new friend Snorri.
All right. Wits medicine, difficulty 7.
Iris will hold him up by her tentacle.
Yeah, sorry about that. It can pierce the heart, but it just
No, it's
loses
good to
blood. It doesn't
know.
paralyze. Yeah.
It's good to know.
It's a great party trick.
Fantastic
Your-
party
Yeah,
trick.
honestly. Oh,
Your
what the
ribs are now in your
hell?
heart.
I tried.
You put the stake in, hammering it in. You hear the cracking of ribs, and you think you did a good job. You think you probably got him in the heart. But again, it's hard to tell because he's already knocked out and in torpor.
You want to literally open his chest cavity and just go at it.
As a note, that might kill him.
Oh no.
And Snorri,
Right.
with his history and his amount of medicine, can he kind of eye that and get a read on whether it's in the right place?
It's probably gonna be like a witch medicine difficulty 8. So you got 3
I
dice
think I'm gonna
difficulty
make
8.
that roll too.
I'll say this much. I don't think it really matters if he's properly staked, because I don't think he's long for this world.
Well, I mean,
It's
if
the
the prince
principle,
intends
Mel.
to keep him around.
It's the principle of the matter. Oh, that
Did
was
wits
Oh,
medicine
no.
difficulty 7?
difficulty 8 for
Just-
attempting to make sure it's right.
Yeah. I don't have medicine.
Uh,
If I attempt it with just wits, is it higher difficulty? Or can I
No, you
even
can't.
attempt it? I can't
You
attempt
can't.
it? No worries. Thought I would
Snorri,
double-check,
you put in the wrong command there. It's
You put a dot.
I don't actually know what that is. Yeah, that's a dot.
Next time, put a dot before it. Or full stop. Specifically for those that don't have medicine, it looks right, but you don't really know. You just know like the
Yeah.
heart's like this area. It's in the chest.
Yeah. I think that looks right.
Yeah.
I do have
Snorri
medicine.
looks like it's probably right. And with 1 success, it might be a little in the wrong place, but again, it's hard to tell. I think for your common sense, you get the feeling it probably doesn't really matter.
It's not right.
like to try it?
Sure. And you'll do so.
Wits medicine difficulties. I'm gonna say difficulty 8 because every time people start doing it, more
Yeah.
holes appear and it gets more complicated.
I am gonna spend a willpower on this.
Also, if you sever the wrong
Suppose.
part of his heart, he just dies.
Well, I mean, win-win. Kill him!
Permission
I'm
isn't
looking at
granted,
my
it gets
ledger
bad.
domain. Huh?
If the proper permission isn't given, it gets awkward. But luckily, the
I
prince
know.
is a companion.
That's the other thing. It's technically a crime to kill someone without the prince's permission. Or an elder's
I wouldn't-
permission.
I wouldn't do
There was
that.
permission granted.
Again,
Alright, sorry.
forgiveness can be granted.
Difficulty. Who's
Difficulty
best? Beg
8.
for forgiveness. Yeah, difficulty 8, and I'm spending willpower.
Okay.
Oh,
So much willpower.
0 successes.
Iris! Oh, it's 0 successes. Good thing.
Good.
You put it in and you're
Yeah.
like, it's close enough. it's
Exact same place you took
it's
it from.
it's almost the exact same place.
Well done.
I-
He'll be coming with us either way.
Yes.
We'll just wrap him in a sheet and weekend at Bernie's him down to the council room.
If I could be a little bit of a bastard to you personally, Mark, could I feed from some of the corpses as we?
Get in line.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Get
never
in
mind,
line.
Yes,
I was gonna say.
that's right. If there's some left over, he doesn't mind being a scavenger.
There's like maybe 3 points of blood left in this victim.
Have at it.
Snorri, as he's collecting the bodies, is going to be eating them. So
Yeah. So I'm gonna say Snorri can get like 3 points of blood.
I know mods that have.
I mean, Snorri's eating them. It's fine.
14. He's
Yeah.
eating them. Nom. Alright. With that, you return back to the council building, room, to see that Sister Morana is already there, as is Amir. But Sister Morana looks very upset.
Wasn't a shadow monster.
What was it?
Mod just kind of unceremoniously dumps the body on the table.
It was our
Monster.
friend from the forest. Unfortunately, he seems to have recovered remarkably quickly once we removed the stake and fed him.
Escaped his cell and managed to go on a small killing spree.
Getting into rooms of companions. Or at least the rooms they normally stay in. Could have been any one of us were we to have stayed here the night.
Nah, the guy was a bad fighter.
Look, it's the principle of the thing, Randolph. I appreciate your candor.
So what
He
now?
won't be with us for long.
Good.
Now,
Should
I
hope
would like
not.
to discuss the situation with Oliver leaving for the city of Douglas. I have done some meditating on what could have occurred. And, well, actually, he's going to stop and he is going to introduce Snorri to Sister Marana and Amir.
They know each other.
As you do, Sister Morana goes, I know Snorri. Let's move on and focus on the important point. At which point we see Amir go,
All right.
doesn't know who this is.
it
Uh,
Very well. It seems that Oliver is surrounded by a dark force of some kind. There's an indication he may be under a sort of ensorcelment, believing Eloise to be, well, his wife. And I do not know if this is by her design or someone else's. And I have an offer of help to know more. However, it requires a sacrifice I don't know if I'm willing to, well, engage in such
I
a
know,
bargain.
yeah.
Who's
I
this?
think
Yes,
Yeah,
that
and
is
Iris had
that
the
is
same
why
fucking.
that is why he is still here. But let me
Sister
explain a
Morano
bit about.
would interrupt and speak up,
Go
and she
ahead.
would say, "Who is this, Judas or the Tremere?"
Neither, actually. I have. There is a dark being who has been following me for some decades and has been trying to gain power, I suppose. Perhaps haunting me is more accurate. Do not trust it. I have not given it power up till now, but it is an offer that it made me just now in my meditation to give more information about what has come of Oliver.
Wait, do you think it is the same sort of entity that is surrounding Oliver? Might you have that
It could
same?
be. It could be, very well. Could be. But I will say, with all of these portents we have received recently of something dark rising and gaining power here on the Isle, giving power to such a being, I do not know if it is worth the exchange. And so
Perhaps
I put it to
not.
all of you because we do have a sacrifice if we choose to take it up on its offer. But in my experience, it has never done anything but harm and hinder me and threaten me. So,
And if you give it more power, and you are the prince.
Hmm.
Snore just looks over at Sister Morana with like uncomprehending gaze for a moment.
Sister Morano's eyes don't look to you at all. They are squarely on Gwynedd.
Have you considered an exorcism?
no.
Well,
But at this time, we have a decision to make before that. Do you
offers
think
on the
it's
table
worth?
for later. No,
But
I do think we
appreciate
need to
that.
kill this
I do.
thing, but not as a sacrifice. Perhaps.
Yes.
I'd agree. I don't think it's right to hand such power to whatever force is making this bargain with you, but I also don't think it's right to keep this thing here. I think we should just make sure it's gone.
No, the
not
the
as a
question
sacrifice.
is, do we kill it as a do we kill
That was
this
my answer.
canine
No, not
Yes,
yes,
as a
we
we
kill it, not as
sacrifice
a
answered you.
for?
sacrifice.
All right.
No, not
Obviously,
as a
it's going
sacrifice.
to die either way. Let us hear from the rest of the council.
Personally, I don't trust anything. I don't know where it keeps its brain. I don't know what this entity wants from you beyond to bedevil you. And I don't like the idea of giving it anything I don't fully know. Well, it might be an interesting way to gain some kind of information over the situation. I think we can figure it out on our own, if a little bit more slowly.
Mhm.
Mia would speak up. If there is a way to learn more from this thing, this Jin,
Hmm?
perhaps small reparations are made. If it is truly powerful enough to offer you more information, perhaps there is something that can be learned from it, one way or another.
Very well. Sister Morana, Snorri, what do you think?
Snorri waits his turn, as he is not part of the council and has known Sister Morana for quite some time and does not want to speak over her.
Sister Morano is saying nothing. She just looks towards the body.
I believe that the body has committed crimes that you yourselves hold dear. Either way, let his beast rule him, giving in to the darkness that would destroy us all. Even if it were to be a sacrifice, no goddess worth her salt would take this lump of waste as a credible one. And then his eyes turn towards Gwyneth. Besides, your knowledge does not come from a being that speaks and weaves. You will gain.
We didn't hear the
Be
first
worth
part
the
of that.
cost.
I'm sorry.
He goes on to say that he doesn't believe that the cost, even if the entity would accept the sacrifice of this horrible lump of massive death humanity in front of you, he doesn't believe that the information gained would be equal to the cost of your soul.
Well then, that's just a mere for taking advantage of this dark being's offer. I have not mentioned it to the council up until now because it is something I have dealt with alone for many years and not given into. But given the circumstances, I thought I would at least put it to all of you. And it seems for the most part we are in agreement to simply dispatch this canite without offering it to whatever being plagues
Don't mi-
me. So,
don't mistake me. I'm a pragmatist by nature. If this entity were anything other than the one that has bedeviled you, I'd recommend taking its offer. But as it is,
And have our
no,
prince
it's
influenced by dark forces.
I think it'd upset the balance of things.
as I said, this is the same decision I make most every time I go to rest. So we are simply in agreement. Randolph, if you would do the honors, I think it would be well done sooner than later.
Gladly.
At this point,
Iris will rip out this.
would step forward and would say, "Excuse me, I have other business I must attend to." And she immediately leaves.
Fucking suspicious.
She
Nori
always
is not
leaves
far
every
behind
time I
her.
want to. Yes, every time I want to talk to her about doing spy stuff, she always leaves.
She
Gotta
got
be
spy
quicker on the
stuff to
draw.
do.
Indeed.
All right, so go ahead.
Randolph will. First things first. As again, he is a pragmatist. Any blood remaining in the body? He's not going to diablerize. I
Just
need
making
to
sure.
say that. Yes.
There would be some.
I'll take it.
Get about 10 points of blood.
Very nice.
Whoa.
Getting back to full and biting into the already ravaged neck, covered in injuries. After a while, as he is sated, he, fangs extended, mouth bloody, pulls back and holds this creature up by the hair. He will take him, lifting him with strength, off and away, hauling him before, with one hand, right into the neck with claws and gouging and twisting.
Until finally there is a loud snap. And the body itself slowly begins to fall apart.
The survival of the fittest.
Did we save anything for Oswald to analyze?
He's
A
dust.
little late.
It's a little fucking late. It's a little
I'm so
late.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
Randolph
He could.
burps a little
It's all
bit.
good.
I will say he could analyze the ashes. That is something
Yeah.
he can do.
Okay.
Right.
But it's not as potent
More
as
just
actual
waiting
blood.
like this.
Right, please, sir, may I have some blood?
You like reach forward,
Ashes.
blood drips into your hand, and then it turns to ash.
Yeah.
Vaughn lets out a mournful howl.
Sorry, Prince. I should have thought about that.
I have to say, this is my favorite
No,
moment
it's
of
all
any
right.
like killing of another vampire in VTM. It's always like, shit, we probably should have saved his blood.
Right?
Well,
It's all
Wait,
right.
what
I didn't
about
think
his-
of it sooner either.
But for Randolph's part, he's going to say, well, Morana has left. I would recommend talking about the other matter, which is to say, our guest Judas. And that might be a good time to. No, I'm not an ST. I won't say when to cut away.
No, continue your conversation on Judas.
Actually, now that we've made a decision on that part, I was wondering if perhaps Amir would have any insight as to what might have happened to Sir Oliver.
wait.
From what I can tell, it seems as if he has been led away by whatever means. Without knowing specific details, it could be a lot of things. I did not know the man quite very well, and kept my distance for reasons.
You think this is something that the Prince of Douglas would have asked his keeper to do?
I do not know the Prince of Douglas. so I could not say.
It's also possible that Eloise is acting on her own, for whatever reason.
That's a possibility.
Why? Oh,
Sorry, what?
sorry, you go.
That's a possibility.
The why is the most important part of any hunt. Who benefits from this, and for what purpose was it done? I cannot imagine a reason that this was done as an attack against us by Douglas, barring perhaps to remove our seneschal. I can imagine a world in which this was done to foster suspicion and increase the likelihood of war. But we will not know until we look further.
Now that we have discussed the darker forces that may be at work in this, I know I am not the only member of the council who is capable of examining that side of things. Maud and Iris, do you have a way of looking into this to perhaps get more answers?
I suppose the only way I could think to do so would be to speak with the prince. I did like the idea of sending a letter of some sort, an inquiry.
Yes, a diplomatic letter certainly is the, how do you say it, conventional way of investigating, but
If
Maud,
one
if you're
is to
able to consult
maintain
the
relations,
spirits in any way, I do not know how that works for you. Iris, this couldn't be something that perhaps Lady Blackwish is doing to foster enmity between the two cities or test us in some way.
I suppose it's possible, but I'm not. I don't really know her means. I barely know her. I know of her more than
I
I
know
know
nothing
her.
of that court.
Mm.
I know nothing of that court,
And I am
so
not.
I must rely
Yes.
on what knowledge
And
you
I
might
am not
have.
part of that court.
Correct.
But
Maud,
it is
regarding
possible,
spirit.
I'm
Well-
sure.
Sorry, you go.
No, that's what I was about to say. Go ahead.
I was just saying that.
Go ahead, Randolph.
Maud, regarding the spirity stuff you can do, like the prince said, is there a way to figure out more about that? Or indeed, that which surrounds the prince?
Well, as far as I know, there's not much I could feasibly do unless I had something tangible that was related to it, but even then it just makes it more effective for tracking maybe, but at this point we know where they've gone. In regards to
I
spirit,
will say one more.
yes, Prince, what were you
I will say
saying?
one more concern I have regarding what may be going on with Oliver. There is Snorri's portent, which I believe mentions a sacrifice under the mountain. Is that correct? I did see Oliver standing at the edge of a cliff with Eloise, having been tricked there by this sorcery, and it concerns me that he may become part of this prediction.
Well, whether or not he's been turned against us or been turned into a victim, we have to assume that he's been subverted. We need to look for his assets within the city and see what we can do to strengthen our position. And in the meantime, we need to figure out where he is, what the plans are for him, what his plans are. And from there, we need to beat this shadowy figure to it. We need to find what this monster is, where it's going to come out, and we need to ensure that the people, or things, or the monster itself that wants it to rise, does not succeed.
Agree. I'll start with a diplomatic letter to Douglas, to Prince Atticus, to inquire about Oliver's appearance in the city, what he may know, and Randolph, you said you were going to check on Percy.
I got distracted
Make
by
tele-
that guy.
Yes, no, I mean, on the agenda of things to do, of course.
First thing I'm gonna do, check on Percy, see. Oh no, what's the guy? What's his guy that
And
that does?
Anders.
Yes.
Stuart Anders.
Your boy.
I'll check on Percy, I'll check on Stuart Anders, and after that I will go on a patrol around the city and the outskirts. See where our problems lie.
Very well. I will say this is topmost in my mind for what we should address, but now all of you know something else I deal with regularly, and I'm not averse to the discussion of exorcism if Sister Iris feels that would help. There is good news. There is good news on the front of Judas, who is preparing to leave the castle. He has offered to stay and lend help to the city, but he wants a pupil, and that's something I must discuss with my childer. If the answer is no, he will be simply leaving the city. So it seems there's no great threat from him to us. I do think if we could retain him as an ally, it would be to our advantage. But we shall see. And is there anything else we wish to discuss as a council?
Not as such. I believe if Snorri has covered up deaths before, then he should have the infrastructure in place to mask the disappearances. Otherwise, it's not really my expertise. None of my bodies have ever been traced back to me.
I may as well make sure there's nothing else incriminating in the room I'm staying in. Other than that, I really do need to have some sort of hunt.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I should have let you. That's purely my mistake. I got caught up in the moment. It
That's
could have let
it's
you have
fine,
some of the
Randolph.
guy.
No, wouldn't hurt if we all went
I
hunting.
appreciate it.
But
Yes. If Snorri agrees to take care of the bodies left behind by this Cainite, then you are free to do what you need to do for yourselves. And I will go speak with my childer.
Good luck.
As you say that, you will hear, whistling through the halls, maybe kind of a dirge style tune as Snorri's collecting the bodies and just kind of like wrapping them in some form of, carpet or tarp or something, and just collecting them all so he can move them to the burrow and burial ground area.
It's an unliving.
Every once in a while, he sounds like he's chewing gum as he's doing so.
I think maybe before Iris leaves, Gwyneth would have her hang back for a moment. And he would say, "It does occur to me the ritual we found in the library in Douglas would be related to all of this."
Is quite possible. There are a great many reasons for rituals.
It
Certainly
was the
worth
first
looking
thing
into.
I thought of when I saw it. This being had already asked me for a sacrifice, and then seeing that, it is worrisome.
I don't, if I am being perfectly candid, I don't like the idea of a shadow inhabiting somebody who is in charge. It is.
Oh, he doesn't inhabit me. It's just haunting, We all have our problems.
Let me rephrase. There is some sort of outside influence. It could be from a place of darkness that we have no control over. That is concerning. What do you know of
Understandable.
this creature? Is it corporeal in form, or is it just a spirit? Do you see them, or do you just hear them?
So far, just a shadow. Something I released long ago from a cave not far from my master's domain. My grandsire's domain, actually. And
Would
it
it be a
has followed
demon
me
of
ever
some
since.
sort?
I suppose I'm not
Yes,
I'm not the expert on this sort of thing. It claims to be one of the elder gods of my culture, but it certainly isn't.
things claim to be all sorts of things. Even we claim to be others
Precisely.
that we are not when we are confronted. Things that do not
Correct.
understand. How long have you known us that you've never once even mentioned this, Gwyneth?
It's something I've dealt with alone for a long time. It's more depressing, I think, to bear with.
Oh no.
I think we're losing quite a few
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
It's just robot gobble.
It's just Australians who are left
Yep.
untouched.
Yo no!
We're losing the Americans.
We've lost the US folks.
Can you hear us? What's your
Americans,
name?
no!
How old are you?
Technical
Jax, Rebecca lighting up.
difficulties. Yeah, they're.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh my god, this looks really funny.
Blue says he can see and hear all of us,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, all three of the
Okay.
US folks is frozen.
We're gonna give it a couple minutes.
Yeah, good idea. I'll
I'm
make
gonna make a
spooky
note
gestures.
when this is so I can cut it out.
Yeah. Nope. No, yeah, your cameras. We can kind of hear
Yeah,
words,
the
but your
camera's
cameras.
frozen when the cameras keep.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, no, that was just Rebecca turning the camera off. Yeah, maybe try restarting the camera? Is that crazy? Restarting Discord? Oh,
Oh,
you're.
something's going on.
Jeez.
I think these people are being under attack.
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
no.
Oh, that's full trouble connection. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
hold on.
Ooh.
That was a full word I heard.
But I can hear you the
Yay!
whole
Alright.
time. It's so strange.
All right.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
that
We're
actually
back,
happened.
but we
Now
lost
it's better.
Drew.
Whatever that
That was
was,
Yay!
true.
We did lose
we
Drew.
lost Drew and the EMP.
No, Drew.
No. Drew.
Sorry, where did we leave off, you guys?
the last
When could you
thing
last hear us?
What was
the last thing that I recall before I heard Blue get all robot-y was saying something like, how long have we known each other, and how long have you gone without saying anything? And I think you started your robot when you said that it was something that you've been dealing with alone for quite some time.
Yes, yeah, I think that was what.
Yes, and now that I'm in charge, it seems more relevant to tell the rest of you about it. So I have.
Maybe.
Well,
Welcome
Yep,
back.
you're back.
yes. Hello.
Yep, we can hear you.
Yay.
Right. Well, as I wouldn't want to say disappointed as I am in the idea that this wasn't something that was known before the exchange of power. I am glad that you finally felt comfortable enough to bring it up now. This is dangerous.
Certainly relevant. I agree.
I understand that there are parts of our lives that we keep secret because they are not relevant. And it does not do to dwell on things in the past and what we should have done. However, I will do what I can to help remove it if it is possible. If we can look into some sort of exorcism, as it were, or ways to cast it out.
Well, it seems that of all of us, the two of us are the researchers group, so perhaps it's a project for the two of us to work on together.
Seems to be the case. Can
And in the meanwhile, I was going to ask if you wouldn't mind helping me pen this letter to the court at Douglas.
Of course, if you wish to pen it, I can proof it. Should
Let's do
carry
it.
your voice. Let's do.
I think with that, the camera pulls out of the room, out the window, as we see along the castle walls scratch marks of a creature that has climbed up and down the walls. As we finally pull back out of the city, we have one final look at what looks to be a it'd be a cart of some sort that is currently being led out of the city by Snorri. We see him walking along, humming a dirge as he takes the bodies to be laid to rest. And that is where we'll end the session for tonight.
Ooh.
Hooray!
Hey.
Yippee, yippee.
Delightful.
Yippee! Yippee!
Right. Yeah, I hope you all have enjoyed. We've run a little bit later than I intended, so we'll do quick outros. My whole camera thing has been changed because of weird problems, technical problems. So
Oh,
we're gonna
no.
go with let's start with Thomas, who is currently sitting in my storyteller seat.
Oh, that's
I
why
have
he
been your
said he's the
storyteller tonight.
storyteller.
I have been Mark. No, that is not the case. I have been Thomas, and I have been the Sheriff Randolph, who had a nice fight, and an enemy got killed. So it's okay. He lost a friend, but that's fine. He'll get him back.
Uh, hey, we have been returned.
Back.
Yay.
Yay!
I've lost my
Next,
power.
yes.
Good.
Next up, Blue, give us your outro.
Hello, everybody. I have been Blue, your demon-haunted Prince Gwyneth of Peel. You know, coming clean about something that it's not a big deal. We chose
Huge deal.
again not
It's
to make a
massive.
sacrifice to the demon, and I'm sure it'll be fine with that. So yes, check in next week for that reaction.
For the demons of it.
Next up, Drew, give us your outro.
Hey everybody, I've been Drew, playing a new character that was a little more fun and interesting to play this evening. Thanks everybody for watching, and thanks everybody for playing. Had a great time as always. So everybody take care, and we'll see you next week.
Wonderful. Next up, Rebecca, give us your outro.
Hey. Hi, I'm Rebecca, and I played Keeper Sister Iris. And I chose violence and death today. um, yes, and maybe next time will be an excellent day for an exorcism.
Not to see what way. And last but certainly not least, Mars, give us your lovely outro.
Yes, I will. I have been Mars, and I played Maud, the Valkyrie mermaids. And I'm hungry.
Oh, hunky.
Fair enough. And I have been Mark, aka the CatsMeow, your storyteller for tonight's evenings. I hope you've enjoyed watching this episode. Please to follow the Twitch for more. Also, like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching us on the YouTubes. We hope you've enjoyed. If you've come all the way to this point, thank you. Most people do not watch the video all the way through, so we appreciate you. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you next week for our next episode of Isle of the Damned. And stay tuned, because there is a new series I will be announcing in the near future. Until then,
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Dun,
have a
dun,
good night.
dun.
And remember, always check the outer walls of castles, for you never know what might be creeping, crawling, clawing its way up the side to find its food. Good night.